Hello, and welcome to another art stream, which I'm glad is what I'm doing today, because I've had a headache all day that I can't seem to get rid of, so I'm extra tired and stuff. And I don't know what it is about today specifically that's giving me a worse headache than usual, because, I pretty much always have a headache to some degree. Which I really need to get figured out. Because it makes everything difficult. Especially when it comes with light sensitivity, because then it's hard to, you have to have all the lights off and all that. Have the screen brightness way down low, and the warm setting on there. So it's just, almost everything I do involves a screen. So it could be very debilitating. There is a medication my neurologist told me about that I need to look into. Because not only is it for headaches, but it's supposed to reduce the headaches over time, where like you no longer need the meds, I think. I just have to check the side effects and such, since I'm sensitive to literally everything. Quite frustrating. You have problems, you can't even take the meds for them most of the time. I should get my little drawing glove. I forget that most of the time. Yeah, this is one of the things that really limits my growth, because it's hard to keep up with algorithm demands when you can't keep up with making content in the first place. Because again, the light sensitivity makes it hard to do anything on computer, which is, where you make stuff, videos and such. And it seems every time I get like, oh, I'll do this. This will be great. I'm getting things done, and then my health will throw me another curveball and halts my progress in getting things done. I have. Why is it doing this? Never done this. It has to be like an update. Screwed it up. I've never had this much problems with it. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I've got several videos. I recorded footage from Shadow the Hedgehog of Black Arms. And I plan to make some videos with it. But most of it's, not most of it, but a lot of it's just sitting there. And it's not like I have to do much to it for what I'm planning, at least the one video. But I just am not doing it. One of those executive dysfunction things. I'm about ready to take the screen protector off, see if that's the problem. Because I'm holding the pencil close, and it gets jittery. But I don't see why that would suddenly be a problem. Thank you. Hi. Thank you. I I do take commissions for PNGs like this on my Ko-fi. Thank you. Cool. It certainly doesn't have to be limited to an OC. I did make up one, a shadow one that's in the shop there, the Ko-fi shop. I was planning on maybe doing some more. This Saturday, November 15th, is the 20th anniversary of the Shadow the Hedgehog game. I wonder how Sega's gonna acknowledge it. Nice new piece of artwork, maybe? Maybe featuring some black arms? That would be nice. That'd be cool. Black Arms DLC for Crossroads would be cool. Yes, it very much would be. It's nice that we got a Shadow the Hedgehog stage in there, but I would have preferred a Black Comet stage to the digital circuit, which I don't even consider like an iconic stage from that game. Black Comet just would have been far more unique, well, as far as designs go, and seeing 𝗖𝗛𝗦𝗧 is simulating everything, there isn't a single lore problem at all in having it. Like, I'm pretty sure Metal Harbor got blown up along with the rest of Prison Island. Like, Prison Island wasn't completely destroyed, but I'm pretty sure Metal Harbor took plenty of hits from that. And, you know, it's in there, intact. Sure, they could have rebuilt it by now, but, you know. And, white space as the obvious sample. Which I'd still very much like to know. How does... See, like, simulating it is one thing, but how does 𝗖𝗛𝗦𝗧 know about it in the first place? I'm very suspicious about his, power. Like, how does he have this power? We already know he can traverse dimensions and time whenever he feels like it. So it's just like, what are you, buddy? I don't think you're just a car company owner or whatever you. He's got something going on. Kind of like, the it's little things with the plumber from Ratchet and Clank. How he just is there and knows what you need. It would be absolutely hilarious if they gave us Black Doom as DLC in Crossworlds. Like, he probably wouldn't have been voiced, but if he was voiced, I would have liked it just for the absolutely absurd dialogue you would get from that. I mean, if they let, they're already letting Eggman and Zavok there. I wouldn't see 𝗖𝗛𝗦𝗧 opposed to it. Especially if he could get his hands on Black Arms technology in the process. I do think it's likely we will get some like it's Bleh. I think it's likely we will get some art, even if it's not much, because they did give us a little drawing of Shadow with the 𝗤𝗛𝗟𝗘𝗦 gun from Shadow the Hedgehog. I see. I just feel like it's, probably like we'll get some art. Since they bothered to draw the 𝗤𝗛𝗟𝗘𝗦 gun. Like, it's such a small thing from there. It would just be nice to see some of the black arms depicted. Especially see, like, I like the new black arms we got in Generations. I like that we got new types. I'm just a little disappointed that the only old types were the Black Warriors. That we didn't get any of the others. No Black Oaks, no Black Assassins. My favorite, no Black Hawks. Which, little black wing right here. Little guy. Yep. Appreciate you. I appreciate all viewers, including lurkers, everyone. I did get me a new tablet case, so it's easier to have it propped up to draw on without having to have my hand resting on it, but it's a habit. I just do really hope Generations isn't the last time we see the Black Arms. There was a line Rouge said in the last part of the game, you know, during the Doom Zone, that makes me think that they'll come back again, because she said something about, you know, they've come back before, so don't go easy on them, type of thing. You know, like acknowledging the fact that they've come back already once, so maybe again. I mean, Shadow Generations had huge success, and you know, a lot of that was Shadow, obviously. But it's like, remember, Black Arms is part of this too. You can't give us cool aliens and use them twice and never again. Am I planning anything for the shadow anniversary? Not really. I doubt I could like, but besides this, since it has black arms in it, but I don't really. I'm not gonna have the time to get something more done, unfortunately. I wish I could plan these things out better to have stuff done for anniversaries, but it's it tends to be difficult with my health always seeming to throw me curveballs all the time. I just gotta do what I can when I can. Ah, thanks, I appreciate that. Ah, you found me via shorts. That's cool. That's good to know. Good to know that they're reaching people. It can sure be a struggle with the algorithms. A lot of stuff barely goes anywhere. Few things will get like 1 or 2K. Can't seem to hit it consistently. I'm trying to at least be more consistent with clipping though. Yeah, thank you. How do you mean? Yeah, thank you, thank you. It's mostly just based on the Sonic art style. I suppose I have a few quirks. Yes, I do quite like the Sonic style. Has a simplistic um, beauty about it. Some of them can be a little complicated, you know, Omega obviously. So I'm actually more intimidated on drawing Neo Metal Sonic than I am Omega. Omega has an overall blockiness to him, but Neo's got a lot more going on. And I just realized the hair is backwards. That is why I usually have it on a separate layer. Not the backwards part specifically, but so it's a little easier to adjust if I need to. Like so. I'm I'm a little bit out of practice since I've been drawing practically nothing but Eclipse for like a year almost. Yes, Neo Metal is quite complex. Drawn it once and wasn't super. I just kind of got it done instead of being too painstaking about making sure everything was just so. Especially since my wrist was giving me fits. Which is another thing that makes it difficult to keep up with algorithm demands is sometimes my wrist just is too messed up to draw, and I have to rest it. I How frequently I draw tends to vary. I can go a while without drawing much just because of being busy or too tired. But there are other times, especially if I'm really focused on a certain thing, like all the eclipse stuff I've been drawing, I can draw quite a bit in a shorter span of time. But it varies because seems my health varies. Can really tell I did the initial sketch without looking at my reference. I may start over on the hair. Yeah, Eclipse definitely has a very neat and unique design. So the funny thing is, initially, I was like, not black arms enough. It's just various little details, like how the claws are drawn, but the comic weren't too specific on that either with the others. Like they colored the whole area in red instead of different color for the nails. Just various other things, but the longer I've drawn him and such, the more I'm just like, yes, this is peak design. There's just a few small annoyances, and that's more with how inconsistently he was drawn in the comics. His first appearance varies quite a bit from the second appearance. Yeah. He was drawn closer on model to the 3D model that was made in Shadowfall, but in Total Eclipse, he was they drew his claws differently and the spurs on the arms. I'm not sure why they decided to do that, other than probably different artists. But I definitely prefer the original. the Shadowfall version. Yeah, in Total Eclipse, his hands are drawn more like you would draw chaos. Like the it's just continuous instead of the claw and finger look having a separate shape to it. I prefer when it has the separate shapes. It reminds me. It just reminds me of a little lizard hand, paws, or however you say that. Like a little gecko. I like little lizards, so it's just more adorable. Yes, he's quite a lot of lizard aspects in his design, and the the black arms have quite a bit of reptilian features, but also bug features, and of course some look like birds. But I think as a good mark of a good alien design is they shouldn't look like any one Earth creature. Like you shouldn't be able to fit them into a category like reptile or mammal. It should be more vague, mix and match. That way they feel properly alien. They do certainly have features of kind of generic aliens, while um, also being unique as well. Cause like they got the big bug eyes and the three fingers, kind of like the gray aliens. Yet they have plenty of stuff that sets them apart as well. I just wish we could get some more, even more lore on them because there's so much you could do with them. Like, it'd be nice to know where they came from in the first place. They're just little tidbits. They're little tidbits in the dialogue that it hint at, more. And one day, I think IDW will use some more. I don't know. It all depends on what Sega decrees. Though there is that Chasing Shadows comic uh that's gonna come out next year. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed again. So it was supposed to be out this March, but March of this year, but that didn't happen. It got delayed till fall and then got delayed again to the next March. And I was just because the main thing is one of the covers has these little flowers, these lilies on it, in black and red lilies, and I'm like, that looks like Doom's eye. So there's got to be some black arms thing going on. And there's this drawing of like almost crayon looking. Yeah, let me. I need to bring this up. I need to bring up these images. I gotta yap about this. Alright, alright. Image. Alright, here's the one cover of the upcoming Chasing Shadows. Make that proper size here. You see the flowers? You see how they're black and red and have a rough Doom's eye shape. Like he's got 6 tentacle, and these have 5. But you see the visual language. And in art and stuff, you don't randomly pick things in art, especially when you're doing story stuff like that. There's meaning to this. And there's all these candles back here, which are in some of the other covers. And as far as I know, candles usually used as like vigils for the dead and such, or maybe rituals. So you got something going on there. Yes, flower language. I did look that up once. I don't remember all of it, but I think like death was one of the things. Let's see. Black lily flower language. As the mystery, power, and strength, this thing says. Do, do, do. I should probably just bookmark one website that has all the flower meanings instead of having to find new ones every time. But yeah, it probably has some, meaning to do with like death and mystery type stuff. Mystery power. And this website says Black Lily Mystery Power. And it's got red in it, so also let's see, passion, love, courage. I don't know. Like they use, white lilies in the dark beginnings in that field. But yeah. Flower language. Let's see what happened to my music. It really. It really run through already. Restart this up. Get another thing there. Alright, the other. So yeah, the black arms are very connected with shadow, so making a shadow comic without doing anything with them feels kind of like a waste. Yes, very much. Yeah. I'm fine with shadow having stories that don't have to do with the black arms, but this is definitely not something I want to see left behind. Why is it bigger? I don't want them to just be, done with now. There's so much you can do with them. Like, bringing back Eclipse. It's not impossible, but we'll just have to see what happens. And see here we got. Let's zoom in. We got shadow here, and now my eye wants to leak. Ah. My eye just wants to sting. But you got all these twisted branches, and because I'm obsessed with. I would like to point out that shadow here is in front of or eclipsing the moon here. Just an observation. And then we have more candles, like with the other one. We have right here this little drawing of shadow, kind of almost in crayon, honestly. Maybe colored pencil, or marker, but it looks like crayon. I guess it could be marker. Yes, my fingers are very crossed. Very, very crossed. But yes, here we have this, like, crayon or marker drawing of shadow. And if you'll note, the features are more pushed in the black arms direction. Like you have these bug eyes. These are the shape of typical black arms eyes. And you have this mouth here with the teeth, which is kind of black arms-ish. We don't get to see most of their mouths, but I'm sure they all have them. Like I was looking at a screenshot of the black wings, and there's like a little outline. It's like, yeah, that's probably a mouth. And the worm types have obvious mouths. Black Bull, Devil Doom, and the Death Leeches probably have mouths on the bottom, kind of like a starfish situation. So yeah, very more, and like the ears are drawn more like horns here. So very black arms feel to this drawing, which my two thoughts on that are either this is drawn by someone who doesn't like black arms, and that's why they're emphasizing the features. Like maybe Shadow runs into some people that really don't like them. I mean, most people on Earth probably don't like them because they invaded, obviously. Understandable. But the other theory is, like, and some black arms that don't like Shadow specifically for obvious reasons. Which, me and a few other of the Eclipse people, like, this looks like something Eclipse might draw while he's angry with Shadow. Because with all his, power and all that stuff and talk, he still acts like a child because he basically is one. Like, there wasn't that much time between Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Unleashed. Maybe months, a year, 2 years. He's, he has the experience of a toddler. Yeah. That's probably just wishful thinking, though. Yes, I want to believe. And, of course, the pumpkin here. This could take place in Pumpkin Hill or similar location like that. What that could relate to. Yeah, we definitely got some spooky stuff going on here. Maybe a ghost town. Maybe some small remote village with a cult in it. I don't know. That's just the vibes I get. Some kind of like cult type thing, which the Black Arms do have a cult thing going on with the way they operate with the hive mind, their temples and stuff, which is something I'll get to in a minute because I have a little theory. But here we have the third cover. Yes, very, very. On the third cover of the moon again. Very much emphasis on the moon for some reason. And it is being partially eclipsed as well. Once again, my my craziness. And there's another thing about this structure here that I would like to point out is it is bird shaped a bit. You got a beak there, bird shape. Black Arms have a lot of bird motifs going on. Their symbol is actually a stylized bird. They have the bird type. They have their temple is shaped like a bird. A lot of bird things going on. So as we have a little, yeah, he's got that chaos emerald there. You got this little town back here. Why are the stars over the? Maybe the lighter gray is just from the moon. No, that doesn't make it. It looks like a tree line almost, but I have converted you to the Eclipse believers. Well, I have done my job then. I keep thinking to myself, how do I get more people, like how do I find some of the more talented people in the fandom who have more time and energy to be obsessed with Eclipse so that there is more Eclipse content. I think I need to go to my need to re-click on my playlist. I don't know what in the world happened there. My stream music playlist. There we go. But yes, um, for one thing, we have access to um the original model, the maker of the original model that was used on the covers. We can just download that for free. So it's like, why is there not at least a bunch of 3D animations out there? So someone did for fun, something, anything, honestly. I mean, there's several mods for various games that use that. Shadow Generations has it. A few others. Unfortunately, not Sonic Colors, which disappoints me because of the whole Wisp thing. Like, an Eclipse mod for Sonic Colors feels obvious to me, necessary, even. But yeah, those are just my observations on these covers. I have zoomed in on them and looked like the moon up here. These random shapes, I've looked at them for any clues, like for the possible story, just because of how long I've had to wait, and I'm still waiting. This one shape here kind of looks like a coffin to me, which honestly, like there was that one off panel where it's like, your personality is kind of unexpected, and Eclipse is like, yeah, I watched a lot of TV growing up, and it showed Chow in space. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Eclipse acts like he watched a bunch of vampire movies and made that his entire personality. He just sounds like that, and it's hilarious. Because, quite honestly, he's this little toddler trying to be this big bad villain. He's got the power to back it up, but it's funny. It's funny to me. Definitely not enough Eclipse on the internet. I have scoured so many websites. I'm like, I haven't checked that one yet. I need to go scour that now. Like, I don't even do this looking for shadow art because it's kind of everywhere. But since this is rarer, I'm scouring for every small scrap I can find. He just, he got unique stuff going on. But to the theory I mentioned earlier with the bird stuff and all the little hints we get in the dialogue. Because one day I was bored and trying to get some exercise in by walking, so I'm like, I'll do the totally normal thing of listening to this hour-long video of every single one of Black Doom's voice lines from Shadow the Hedgehog. For lore. For the lore. Can find shadow art under every pebble, yes. Which is mostly why I don't draw him near as much as you would think I would. Because it's everywhere, and I just get this thing of how can I, give something unique. Because, like, everyone's drawn him in this or that pose, or doing this or that thing. So I just don't feel like it's worth bothering if I don't come up with something unique, which nothing is truly unique at this point, with how many years we've been creating things in general. But, there's so little of Eclipse, I feel far more compelled to draw him. Just because there's not enough. Anyway, one of the lines from Doom was something to the effect of preparing for their master's return or something. And it's like, that's interesting, because, Doom's kind of the top dog here. So who could he be talking about? And, I'm thinking... Now, actually, I have two theories on this. The first one has a lot to do with the bird themes. And that would be, one moment. Yeah, just had to blow my nose there. Anyway, the first theory... Yes, theory time. The first theory of what... Because, the Black Arms have this cult thing going on. They have temples. They're worshipping something. The first theory is Solaris. Yes, I know. Solar's flame was blown out, but we still have 𝗖𝗛𝗟𝗧 with the name 𝗖𝗛𝗟. So, there's some remnant of something going on there. Otherwise, the city's name would have changed. And that fits the bird motif. That fits the destruction stuff because Black Doom is destroying. And few other things. And now the other theory as to what the Black Arms are worshipping, what Black Doom's master would be the other theory is the end. And there's a few things that go with this. Once again, destruction. But some of the end's abilities are the same as Black Doom's. Which I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but there's a lot of the same abilities. And the color scheme, it's got the purpley red thing going on. The end has the purpley red thing going on, which the Black Comet has. Purple red all over the place. And Black Doom's in the Black Comet. He's over 2,000 years old because that's when he put 𝗥𝗨𝗟𝗘𝗦 on Earth 2,000 years ago. So he's over 2,000 years old. Why spend so much time hanging around Earth when there are probably easier planets to harvest? The end is stuck on Earth. That would give sufficient reason. So it's very interesting how that could fit in this, even potential connections with the Phantom Ruby, because it's got the red stuff, which matches some of the red in there's red stuff in the bottom of floating pillars in some of the 𝗤𝗛𝗟𝗘𝗦 the Hedgehog stages. I forget which stage exactly, but one of the spots where you're flying on a Black Hawk or a Black Bolt. I think it was just a Black Hawk. Might have been the Cryptic Castle, I'm not sure. Or maybe it was Sky Troops. But what the Phantom Ruby does is basically the same thing Black Doom did to Shadow in a few stages when he sends him back in time on the arcs. He's not sending him back in time physically. It's like it's an illusion, a virtual reality. Like Shadow got sent to by Infinite with the Phantom Ruby. It could be nothing. It could be coincidence. But it's definitely interesting how it fits. Yeah, so far, those are my two theories on what the Black Arms master would be. It would just be very interesting for them to expand on the Black Arms like that, because there's stuff there that just wasn't followed through on. And this does seem to be just a theory. A Black Arms theory, yes. It does seem to happen a lot with Sonic, is they give you a nice sample of, here's this thing. Here's some things about it. We're not going to elaborate any further. But now we have an origin for the Chow now, so they're adding some stuff. Which that was interesting. That was kind of cool how the Chow turned out to be descendants of aliens, considering before Frontiers I had theorized that the Chow had alien origins, but I was thinking of the Black Arms, since that's the aliens we had, because of their similar life cycle, and the Black Arms color scheme with the Dark Chow, the typical Dark Chow, and Shadow looking like one of the Dark Chow types. And as far as I'm concerned, Dark Chaos Chow looks like a baby Black Doom. But then that came out like, oh, they are aliens. We just, different aliens. Just different aliens. Which do have some appearance similarities with some of the Black Arms type. Got the same number of fingers and toes, the bug eye thing going on. Which makes me wonder if maybe the Black Arms are an offshoot. Like some became Chow, some were like one like corrupted and changed formed or something into Black Doom and then made the Black Arms. The only thing that really shoots down that theory though is Eggman mentioning the ancients match his data on Chow DNA, because there's no way Eggman didn't. If Eggman has Chow DNA in his database, there's no way he doesn't have Black Arms DNA in his database, and so he would have mentioned it. So that's really the big thing that kind of shoots down that theory. But I also have another theory that because the Black Arms have so many types, and this is kind of based off of the Dark Arms, since they were based on wisp, cultivated from wisps. It's like some of the types, maybe they were cultivated from different species, like the Black Warriors, Assassins, and Oaks could have been based on ancients. And then the others were, maybe based on other species. But again, I would think Eggman would have mentioned that. Because he does mention the Black Arms in those files too, saying that the ancients were older than the Black Arms as well. So they got a mention. So they're definitely not forgotten. Though I do think there is only so many times you can bring back Black Doom and have it interesting. Which is why you bring in someone like Eclipse to freshen things up. Oh, I frequently like to imagine Eclipse in a Sonic game. That would be so cool. Hello and thank you. Honestly, as much as I would like Eclipse in a Sonic game, I would be perfectly happy if he was just in the IDW comics. That's perfectly alright with me too. Especially since he started out in the comics, I feel like he's just more suited for that. So he could have, proper. A game can be kind of quick on the character development stuff. Like, maybe it'd be better if Infinite had more time to develop a bit. They just could have shown us things a little better. Yes. I definitely think he's better suited for comics. And I'm definitely uh, a proponent of he was very, very primed for a redemption arc. Like he had all the typical things that you would need to set up a character for a redemption arc. Yeah, Crossbows DLC wouldn't hurt. I very much doubt it, but it wouldn't hurt. Yeah, Shadow's my favorite too. I like Shadow, Omega, Eclipse, Blaze. Just having him in Sonic Force's speed battle would be nice. Cause that's not, you don't have to worry about canon there. Because you have characters from the movies, which is a different continuity. And you have angry birds there, which aren't Sonic. So, there isn't really a real reason that he can't be there. So, back to the Crossworlds DLC, you have Werehog Sonic there, and lore-wise, that's not possible. Unless we're doing some simulation thing, because, Dark Gaia isn't awakened and dispersed. So that's just an example of lore bending right there. Oh yeah, I like Metal Sonic too. It's probably part of the reason I like Eclipse so much, because I already liked Metal Sonic. It's pretty similar. Like he's got this, he's built. He was made to look like Shadow and destroy him. Which is kind of the same as Metal Sonic, just but there's other things. Yeah, I like the new IDW characters. I like Whisper. Like like Lanolin. that the new jackal was pretty cool. Though when I first saw the cover, the mask, I'm like, that looks like an echidna. So they kind of got, you know. I was like, oh, it's jackal. Okay, we didn't get some cool echidna thing. Even if it was someone, you know, dressed up like as an echidna, like as part of their disguise, that would definitely be a way to throw people off. Like, oh no, I'm not that. I wasn't them. That's the wrong species. I'd really like. It'd be so cool if to have interaction between Eclipse and Whisper because of the whole Wisp thing. I gotta imagine that she would be uh, hostile initially, because the black arms, of course. Everyone's probably gonna be hostile initially because of the invasion, and she's probably going to assume the dark arms are like uh, the negative wisps. So she's gonna think he like drains their power like Eggman did. Which, to be fair, and it's not really like explicitly stated, but the dialogue, not dialogue, but well, I guess it is dialogue. The wording makes it sound like he kidnapped some baby wisps or wisp eggs and then experimented on them to turn them into hybrids. Which is questionable. And I don't think Whisper would care for that. My favorite Sonic game. That would have to be Sonic Adventure 2, which gave us Shadow. But I also like his own game too. And now, of course, Shadow Generations. Battle was fun as well. I like that. And the Emerald stuff. We got extra Emerald stuff in Dark Beginnings. And I'll continue yapping about this after break. Alright, I'm back. And I don't remember the last thing I was yapping about. Of course. It is nice. Shadow got his own game. I wish they would give him a second one. I mean, he technically got a second one with Generations, but like a Shadow the Hedgehog 2 specifically. Which I put together a mock logo using I put this together here. The concept. This little concept logo for Shadow the Hedgehog 2. Mixing elements from Shadow the Hedgehog and Shadow Generations. Of course, I got clips in there. And a gas spear as the little like line. Instead of just having a line in there, I use that. And the idea for the title animation is you have Shadow the Hedgehog 2 up here, and the cast spear comes in from the left side and forms to this, and then the total eclipse appears with it. But I'm not great at animating that stuff. I've barely poked around in it. Yeah, it's a little something I wanted to throw together. Oh yeah, Sonic Battle, that's what I was yapping about. It was so cool that they included Emerald in Dark Beginnings. It had more of that. Which just gives even more credence to why Shadow was kinda freaking out about Sonic just having Emerald wandering around. Like, that thing is dangerous! From what I understand, that Emerald, losing control like that, what started the artificial chaos rampage, which started the whole Gun having second thoughts about this, which then led to the arc raid. So, as I mean, it wasn't on purpose. Wasn't, not something Emerald planned, but he's kind of the catalyst. Should understandably have Shadow on edge. That's one of the things that Shadow tends to have a problem with when it comes to Sonic. I wish was a little more explained, because other people don't seem to realize it. Shadow has a problem with him being so lax about things. He doesn't take things seriously enough sometimes, which can lead to problems and such. Like usually he manages to fix things right and stuff, but you can't always rely on, it'll work out. We did kind of get some of that in Prime, where Shadow was shown to be more justified in being annoyed with Sonic. Because he shattered everything. How did Cinder come about? What was the creative idea? I have had Cinder for a very long time. At least since middle school. She's very, very old. She hasn't gone through too many design changes. She's, always been Orange Fox with fire powers, basically. I just kind of updated her when Sonic Forces came out, and, character creation thing. Which is why her hair is that shape specifically. Like, it was already similar. Already, had the Sally-like bangs. But I just, further based it on that part in the character creation. The shoes were also partially based on. Thank you. Now let me pull up one of the old drawings, old design. Let's see. Uh, Da-da. See again, that one. Alright, here's one. The old ones, one of the ones I have colored. Shrink this. You can see how it hasn't changed a whole lot. Just a few, like, updated outfit. No. Few marking differences, like I added all the little brown markings. Thank you. Oh boy. OBS, don't fail me. Oh no, OBS, no. Wait for program to respond. Come back to me, OBS. But was that too much for you to handle, OBS? Oh boy. Let me see if it's still going out. It shows it's still live. It's just I can't touch OBS. I can't do anything OBS. So I guess I'll just keep going until it dies. May have to end stream by just closing OBS, not be able to put up my end screen. This has certainly never happened before. I was definitely hoping to have more of this done. But, I'm slow tonight. For some reason. Ah, thank you. So the stream is still definitely going out. My OBS is all like whited out. I can't touch a thing. It's not responding, but somehow it's still functioning. I don't know. I don't want to. The only option is wait for program to respond or close, and I don't want to close it. I don't want to kill the stream, so I'm just gonna have to leave it as is. Which means I won't get to put up any more images unless I do it on my tablet. I may as well yap about a few more Black Arms observations. Let's see. My mic is still working, right? That didn't die. Because, none of the bars are moving on the audio mixer. I think this OBS is frozen. I mean, the mouth is opening and closing, so I'm assuming it is. Because that's what controls that. But anyway, in the end, the final story, Black Doom goes on about the Black Arms Order. And it just makes me wonder. They're a hive mind species, but Black Arm attempts to mind control Shadow and fails. So instead of a regular hive mind species, is he forcibly subjugating all of the Black Arms to his mind control? Like, are they in control of their actions? Though it is interesting to note, Black Doom is not directly puppeteering the Black Arms just based on their behavior. Because there's a bit of dialogue where he instructs Shadow if the Black Arms soldiers are too aggressive toward him to use the heal units. That, has a side effect of reducing aggression, ending aggression. They don't want to fight anymore. So it seems Black Doom doesn't have full direct control, just influence. Like they're brainwashed to the point of accepting orders easily. As opposed to direct control. Like he doesn't have a remote control. Like you have, RC car type control. There are also little hints at personality, kinda. This seems to be assumed by a lot of people that they're just kind of mindless. the black arms, but black wings, like this little guy here, are noted to have strong curiosity. They'll sometimes wander away from their group. Curiosity takes at least a certain level of independent thought. And in the gun headquarters stage, there's a door you come to that is locked. Oof. And there's a little question mark thing, so you get a little dialogue from Black Doom. And he suggests that the Black Oak's fear is keeping the door shut, which, doors don't work that way. But it is you know, it shows that they feel fear. Which mindless creature would not. So it just seems like it's more they have limited cognition, which might be on purpose to make them easier to control. I don't know. Just a lot of things I've been thinking about too much. Thinking about too much. Yeah, this one window says properties for image not responding. So I wonder if hitting the close would just close that or all of OBS. I'm not sure. But I'm not gonna try it. Not until it's time to end the stream, I guess. Because, I'm not gonna have stream die and then come back for half an hour. And have to deal with the re-uploading stuff. So it's proper. I always seem to oversize the tail a lot. Yes, big fluffy is good, but I try to keep to the, keep to the keep consistent. I try to keep consistent. at least want to get the lines done and put down the colors. After that, it won't take too long. Especially since I've been trying to be more simple on the colors. Sometimes simple just looks better. You can overdo things. I've been trying to have, more like filled in black shadows. Like sometimes you have in comic art. Oh, hello there. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. This is the one thing I like about how I've been drawing lately. Instead of the regular line art for like ink, I just use my sketch brush. And when I'm done with that, I just I duplicate the layer several times to, you know, basically turn it into inked line art because it fills in. But before I do that, I can do all this, stretching and moving around, which, blurs it. But after you do the the duplicate layer thing, it's no longer blurry. It's solid lines. You can be a little messier with it, fixing things. And it's less pressure to get that perfect line. Thanks for subscribing, Serenity. My favorite ship. I do tend to. I do like 𝗤𝗛𝗡, but the I kind of really like 𝗥𝗨𝗟𝗘𝗦, but primarily I like it just because how Rouge is always flustering Knuckles. It's just funny. It's just honestly, I like 𝗥𝗨𝗟𝗘𝗦. That's a good one. I don't have a ton of ships, as I don't focus on them too much, honestly. Yeah, Knuckles and Rouge are so fun. It's definitely mostly Sonic X that got me interested in that. Their interactions in there. Really? There's a max to how many you can subscribe to? I appreciate it anyway. Appreciate the thought. I forgot this outfit has the hair down. But sure, I could mix and match if I wanted to, but that's so wild. Especially when half the time it doesn't even show you all the videos from the people you are subscribed to. Every once in a while I'll be like, I wonder if this person's been posting anything. And if it turns out they have, it's like, I haven't been getting anything. I don't know how many I'm sub to. It might not even be. I don't think I'm even sub to 100. These random lines that keep. Oh, that wasn't quite right. I got these random lines that keep popping up. Almost forgot this little bit right here. The color divide. The raglan sleeves. And this down here. Hmm. Alright, I think that's everything. Now we just do the duplication. We got some stray spots here to clean up. Well, a lot more than usual. Seems this thing wants to wig out lately. Alright, I'm definitely about ready to take the screen protector off and see if that fixes it. I don't know what else to do. I changed the pencil nib. That wasn't it. Might have been an update. I don't know. Probably check if there's a known issue. Like, where did this line come from? What? Well, it's almost time. I got most of the colors in. This. I'll definitely have to pull up the screenshots to get that exactly right. Well, mostly right. They were kind of brownish too. Maybe purplish will work. Ah, well, there we go. That's what I got done for tonight. Thank you all for coming and having me yap about Black Arms and Eclipse. And I will... Funny looking bird. You come here last minute to say funny looking bird. What you doing, bro? Yep, that's what you doing. Always. Always coming to my streams to insult something and then leave. That why you not streaming no more, so I can't come do the same to you. Oh well. Good night, everybody. Now let me come in, insults me, refuses to elaborate. Yes. Good night. Now let's see. I'm gonna hit the close program thing on this and see if it just closes the pop-up window. Otherwise, it will probably just kill OBS, and so there won't be an ending animation thing because OBS decided to have a problem. So, good night.